Hi there. Before we talk about using could to give suggestions, we should talk about should to give advice. So we know that when we use should, we are giving people advice. So when we give advice, we are telling people X is a good idea. We're also saying, I think this is the right thing to do. When we do this, we are automatically telling people what to do. Because when we use should, we're saying, this is correct, this is the right thing to do. Let's look at a situation. So, I have a terrible time getting to sleep at night. I just can't stop thinking. Do you have any advice? Well, this guy here, he says, you should turn off your screen an hour before bed. When we look at our phone or look at the computer, it makes our mind more active. So he says you should turn off your screen an hour before bed. That is a good idea. Or maybe he could say, you should listen to calm music. That helps our brain relax, and that is a good idea. You should do that. Or he says, you should drink some herbal tea. I think what he means is I think that drinking herbal tea will help relax you. That's a good idea. You should do it. Now, all of these ideas here, you should turn off your screen, you should listen to calm music, you should drink some herbal tea. Again, when we use should, we're saying, okay, this is a good idea, and I think that it would be better for you to do this thing. We also use should when we are talking about general things. People should be kind. You should give a tip to your waiter when you're done eating dinner at a restaurant, etc. So when we use should, we're saying this is the correct thing to do. This is the right thing to do. So now let's talk about could to make a suggestion. So the difference between advice and suggestion is like we saw with should earlier. When we give advice, we're saying, this is the correct thing to do. Listen to me. You should do this. When we make a suggestion, it's not as strong as giving advice. When we make a suggestion, what we're doing is we give people options. So we can use could to give a suggestion. When we use could, we know the listener knows that they have an option. We saw before that when we use should, it means kind of like we are telling people what to do. That's not bad, but it is true. But when we use could, we automatically give people a choice. And when we use could this way, it sounds and feels softer than should, because you are automatically giving people a choice. So here's the same situation again. I have a terrible time getting to sleep at night. I just can't stop thinking. Do you have any advice? So this woman is thinking, and she comes up with several ideas. So she says, okay, one option, one thing you can do would be to turn off your screen an hour before bed. So she would say, you could turn off your screen an hour before bed. That's one choice that you could make. Another thing you could do would be to listen to calm music. That calms us down. So you could listen to calm music. That's one of your choices. Or maybe she says you could drink some herbal tea. That's a choice. So we know from our conversations before that when we use should people have a choice. They can do it or they can not do it, right? Which is different from have to or must. When we say must, we are saying you have no choice, do this thing. When we say should, we think it's a good idea, you can do it or not, but we're kind of telling people this is the correct thing to do. When we use could, what we're doing is we're just saying this. You can do this, you can do that, you can do another thing, but here's one suggestion. You could turn off your screen, you could listen to calm music, you could drink some herbal tea, and all of those things are options or choices that you can do. You can choose any of them, you can choose all of them. It's completely up to you. These are just some things that I think might be good for you to get to sleep. So, when we use could, we are just telling people, here's one option, and we're telling people that this is something you could do. But you could do something else. It's up to you.